is it? Day one. What day is it? Day one. I was given a job and I got it done, and I got penalized and punished for doing that. I'd lost everything. And I became homeless. I had to win. I've been blessed to create many, many millionaires. I became known as Mr. Day One. Why Day One? I was always musically inclined. My mother had me learning all kinds. I learned like 12 instruments, and I played and sang. I really sang kind of professionally for a long time, and I enjoyed music. And so there was an opening to sell pianos at a piano store. And I was like 21. I thought, hey, that'd be fun to sell pianos because I understand pianos. I can play the piano. So let me try that. And so it was a beautiful store. It had probably, I don't know, 50 or 80 or 100 pianos in that store. And but I didn't want a job. And so they said, we pay this much to be in the store. When somebody comes in, you explain and sell a piano. I said, no. I said, do this for me. Don't pay me anything except for when I sell a piano, just pay me a commission for selling a piano. And so basically straight commission. And there were 2 or 3 other salespeople in that store, and they were just being paid to be there. And then they got a little bonus for volume, for numbers of pianos. So they were motivated to sell a lot of pianos to be able to get a little bonus every 3 or 4 months or something like that, as I recall. So we're sitting in the store, and it didn't have a lot of foot traffic because piano stores, people buy a piano like one time in their life. So they have a piano, then they're done. Another person gets a piano, and most houses had a piano. And so very few people come in that store. Some days only 3 or 4 people would come in all day long, and we'd have 2 or 3 of us sitting there. As a matter of fact, we'd play games. Somebody would start walking into the door and we'd say, oh, that's my cousin or my uncle. Oh, yeah, I talked to him the other day playing these kind of games. It kind of reminds me a little bit about social media today. What we do is we put up a story or we put up a post or something like that, hoping that people contact us or come into our store. And then when they come into our store, then we can pitch them on whatever we're selling. I didn't like that idea. I felt like it was really limited to me as to what I could really do, because just sitting there all day long doing nothing was killing me, because I was a very high energy guy. I said, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell these pianos door to door. See, I had sold donuts door to door, flower seeds door to all kinds. My mother set me up for this. And so I took a bunch of brochures and I went out and I just started hitting houses. And it's unbelievable what happened. I sold hundreds of pianos. I set records in this company in 3 months that had several different stores in different states, like immediately. And the reason is I'd go in, they'd say, we already have a piano. I say, yeah, let's upgrade it. Let me show you what we can upgrade, and I'll give you trade on the old piano and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, by going out and getting the customer, okay, I was able to set records, make a ton of money, and had a very successful, I was only there for 6 months, but it kind of set the tone for me, because what I understood is you got to go get the customer. What most people do, the easy thing to do is just to advertise. Throw out a post, social media, advertisement somewhere, wait for people to contact you. I like to go right after the customer. I identify the customer, and I identify how I get to that customer directly. And this has been throughout all of my career. It's been something that I've done, and so I exponentiate, that's a word. I hurry up the process of sales by doing that. And so I was sitting in the piano store, and a friend of mine came in. He says, hey, Rick, there's this company that's doing financial services, doing like insurance and investments and mortgages. I said, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'd be interested. I could probably sell that stuff. And I was happy at the piano store, but I was always looking for more. And so I said, okay. And so the next day he comes in and says, forget that, I found another company. He says, this company has got a building concept where you can actually not just sell products and make commissions, but you can build a team and override on those teams with people that have auto ships. They're paying for the services every month, like insurances and different things like that. And you can create, and that's an income that keeps coming in for years and years and years. And I said, let's do it. Went out there, joined that company, had a 10, 11-year career. It was amazing. I made so much money from like 21, 22 to 25 years old. I was making so much money. I was buying houses and cars and toys, and I bought things things for other people, helped them with their college educations, my friends. At 25 years old, what I didn't understand at the time is business goes like this. It goes up and down. And when I was 25, business went like that. And I ended up losing everything. I lost cars, house, I lost everything. And at 26 years old, I'm starting there thinking, what in the hell happened? So I reevaluated and corrected my course. And in my year as a 26-year-old kid, I set myself up. I made more money that year than I've ever made, and set myself up to be financially free, and took that and built that into other businesses and other businesses and other businesses. So one of the things that happens sometimes in life is bad cards are dealt to us. We have difficult times. Rather than to quit, which I don't even know that word, my mother taught me never quit. So I just don't quit. And rather than do that, I took it as a learning experience. What did I do wrong? Evaluate it. What do I now have to do right? And by doing that, I've always beat the game. I've always been able to win. I've always told everybody, Rick Rowberry always wins. And the reason is because I don't quit. I take failure or setbacks as a time to evaluate, to be able to step forward more aggressively and more quickly. So that's kind of my career before I really started getting into the swing of things. I had a friend of mine that said, hey, there's this thing called network marketing. I didn't know what it was. He said, but you can create residual income. And see, I've been in my financial service career for 10 or 11 years, and I still get a check today, decades later, off the work that I did then. So I understood the concept of residual income, which is you do something one time, and if that customer has repeated purchases every month of whatever your product or service is, you get paid a commission for as long as they're a customer. And so he said, this is a great residual income program. I thought, great, let's look at it, see what it is. And it was the first binary marketing plan in existence. Before, they'd always had 5 wide and 8 deep matrices, unilevel type things. I don't even know if unilevel was out yet, but this was the binary, which was you build 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And so I created a campaign called the Magic of 2. And we built that, and literally hundreds and hundreds of people came in very, very quickly. And they joined for $300 or $700 or $1,500 each. They called it a business center, and you could buy up to 15 business centers. I bought 15 business centers, and they paid every day on each business center, and they sent checks in the mail. This was really fun because when I went out to the mailbox, I had a stack of checks every day. I mean, it was so fun. Mailbox money. We kind of miss that today with technology, but my presentation was I'd take the checks from that week before and I'd fan them like this, and I'd say, do you want some? And everybody'd say, yeah, I'd sign up. That was before the days of compliance where you can't do those kind of things. But what an amazing introduction into the market now. And I learned a lot. That company only lasted for 2 or 3 years. We sold like prepaid calling cards and that kind of stuff, or prepaid, and long distance became cheap. And then technology started coming in. But then I went on from there in my network marketing career. And the thing I always loved about network marketing is the concept of not only can you make sales and make a commission, which some people love to do, but you can also create a team of people. You can develop leaders. And what you can do with that is you can create a residual income on all of the volume that's being created by all the people that you bring in. And that income can go on for a lifetime. And so I love that idea of residual income. When evaluating the business, there's only one thing you want to look at. You want to look at the owners. Who's running the company, who's making the decision. It's not the compensation plan. It's not the products. It's none of those kind of things. What it is the owners. You can never be better than their commitment to the project. Not only their intellect, but also their heart, their honesty, and their integrity. I always interview owners, and this is one of the stories that I tell. I said, you know what? We had a Newfoundland dog, and in the dead of winter in Idaho, it's like 10 degrees below zero. There's this stray cat that came onto our property. And I thought this cat's going to be lunch for this dog's name was Diesel, right? And as I looked out there about 20 minutes later, the cat was sleeping on top of the dog. And it was freezing. And I thought, that's really interesting. Well, as soon as spring came and it warmed up, Diesel's chasing the cat underneath cars and around the house and all kinds of stuff. And I thought, this is really crazy. Oh, this is what happened. When they need each other, they get along. But when they don't need each other any longer, their true nature comes out. And so I asked the owners of a company are you showing me your true nature right now? And boy, the look on their face is amazing, but it's the owners that make the difference in a project. So that's where your focus is. 3 tips to succeed in business, simple for me. Number 1 is day one mentality. You got to have a positive day one mentality and understand the concept of restarting brand new every single day. The second thing is that you have to never quit. Never say quit. You see, if you don't quit, eventually you figure it out and you win. People that quit make that a habit. People that win make winning a habit. And then third thing is you got to be passionate about what you're doing. You got to believe in what you're doing. It has to be your mission. It has to be your purpose. It has to be a crusade. If you master the 3 things, you're almost guaranteed to win.